Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I think let's say like I said, I can never tell if we're actually live because I just get a spinning wheel.
Right. It's not loaded
But
yet.
I think we're just about there. But it's okay. We can wait a minute too, just to let people have a chance to get on.
Yeah, let's let them tune in.
Yeah, let them tune in. Because we're that important right now. Okay, there we are. I see us on there. Yay, we're on there. Okay, cool.
Turn your channel, guys. Tune in.
Yeah. So, hey everyone, what day is it? Is it Thursday? No, it's day. Happy day.
It's quarantine day. 1058.
But happy Thursday, I think.
Yep.
Obviously, you're on Jason's Facebook page, so you know who we are. But we just wanted to take a second to introduce. This is Frank Cota. He's the president of Lincoln Lending Group. And he is somebody that we've worked with personally for quite a bit of time now. Yep. And we really value his opinion. So we brought him on here today just to kind of answer some of the questions that we're having. And
yeah, very fluid market. It feels like the mortgage industry is changing on a daily at the moment, or at least the rumors are changing daily. So I wanted to kind of clarify that and tell us, what you're seeing. So thank you for joining us again this morning.
All right. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, you guys are great. Let's start by saying the market is good right now. It's not bad. I want to start our conversation by dispelling any rumors that people think that the sky is falling or prices are dropping or people aren't selling or buying. We locked 16 loans last week, which is above average for us. This week, we're probably going to end up around 10 to 12.
Awesome.
And I'd say more than normally my business is about 70-30 purchase to refi. Right now, my business is probably 60-40, something like that. So it's not, it's not far off of normal. Yeah, I'm doing more refis because refis are out there because rates are low.
Yeah.
The market is good. What am I seeing about rumors? There's a lot of rumors in the wholesale and the lending world right now where you're hearing, oh, this bank is shutting down or this bank isn't lending, or what you're really hearing is this bank's in trouble. There's really no way to know a bank's in trouble unless you truly have inside information until that bank actually comes out public with it. Right. What lenders are doing is they're tightening credit guidelines even more than they did on our conference call last week.
Okay.
Last week, a lot of lenders on FHA were increasing their minimums from let's say 600 up to 640, 660. What we've seen in the last week is some of them who are not as well capitalized have increased to 680, or some of them have actually suspended their FHA operations altogether or put overlays, which an overlay is basically the FHA technically doesn't have any minimum credit score requirements. Remember when I've done these seminars with you guys before? Yeah. I'll do a trivia question and I'll say, hey, what's the minimum credit score FHA? And everybody will raise their hand with a score. The truth is FHA doesn't have a minimum. So the banks are the ones creating these overlays to either slow down the business or stop the business altogether. Mm-hmm. And it is getting a little bit tight out there. There are more overlays. We still don't have jumbo, still don't have non-QM. We don't have renovation products, and the construction lending industry is almost done at the moment.
So wait, jumbo, I thought there's still jumbo if you do 20% down. Is that gone now?
Yeah, sorry, I should have said that. You're right. Yeah, you can still do jumbo. Don't get scared. You just have to have 20% down, where a few weeks ago it was 5%, then it went to 10%, now it's at 20%. Okay. I will tell people we had 2 jumbo scenarios this week, and what we did, we have one investor still doing this. We did a combo loan. The maximum conventional loan is $510,000, so we did $510 on the first. We did like $150 on the second, and the buyer's bringing about $100 for their 10% down. Okay. So they're still able to do 10% down. That's as far as you can go, though. You won't be able to do 5%, but you can get to that 10% by doing a combo loan with some banks.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
So one of the things, I guess you kind of brought up like some of the myths and things. So we were curious as to just, we hear everything on the news and it's all doom and gloom. So we looked at like what's happening right here in Pasco County and Hillsborough County. And we were actually just pleasantly surprised. I shouldn't say pleasantly surprised, but just extremely happy with the data that we found. Yeah. So this I thought was really, really interesting. So there's currently about 7,400 homes on the market, right?
In those 2 counties.
4,200 came on the market in the last 60 days.
Okay.
2,600 came on the market in the last 30 days. 30 days when we're being told that nobody's selling, nothing's happening. Right. 2,600 homes. But then here it even gets better. 2,889 went pending in the last 30 days.
And Frank, 3,400 homes, 3,404 to be exact, actually closed and sold in the past 30 days, and they closed at 99% list to sell price. So if you look at that number, if you just take the top number of 7,400 that are active and 3,400 that are selling in the past 30 days, we're literally just at a 2-month supply, a little bit less, because we've also had, some people just take their home off because they don't want people coming in their house, which really, obviously we understand that, but that does give the sellers an advantage right now, in my opinion, because inventory is still super tight, and those homes coming on the market are selling at just about asking price if they're priced right.
And the median days that they were on the market was only 19 days.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, guys, you nailed it. It's supply and demand. We have a low supply. This is still the busiest buying market of the whole year starting right now.
Yeah.
If you're a seller, don't sit on the fence. And if you're a buyer, shop from your living room, and then you call Jason and Jen when you find it. Yeah. And you can still get into most of these houses.
We can, yeah. We're doing a lot of video, virtual FaceTime tours, things like that. And then we also do have some clients that do want to go see it, which we're prepared for that. We have masks, we have gloves, hand sanitizers, foot booties to put on your shoes. So we are taking the necessary precautions for people that want to go see them. But yeah, business is definitely still happening.
Yeah, it's not that crazy to go see a house right now. I mean, I was telling my wife this morning, when we just visited my dad in the hospital 6 months ago, there was a disease all around you. You just don't touch your face or touch your mouth or whatever, and you're not going to catch it.
Yeah.
And we really have been utilizing the virtual, the virtual tours and stuff like that. So that way when we go through, we can virtually show the house, see if you really like it. So that way you aren't, maybe you narrow it down to the top 2 or 3 that you really want to see. Then we go out and see those. You don't have to go see 10 homes out on your own anymore. So it's a different way of doing it. Actually, I think it's kind of a better way of doing it, to be honest. All of our time is so valuable. And if you think about it, we can do so much of the legwork for you now. And you just have to come in at the very last minute and say, okay, these are the 3 I really want to see.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that? Why didn't we do it like that before? I don't
know. Let me ask you if you're seeing the same thing as me, because and this is a note to a seller. So if you're a seller, listen up very closely right now.
Yeah.
I will tell you guys that we process at least 25 applications a week, right? Yeah. And you maybe have 30% of those that are approved. Right now, we're still processing almost 25 applications a week minimum. Yeah. And I have an 80% approval rate.
That's awesome.
What I'm seeing is that the people who are in the market to buy right now, listen up, sellers, they are serious. They are heavily well-qualified buyers that are in the market right now. They're not tire kickers. The tire kickers are staying home because they know they're tire kickers.
You're right.
Yeah. They do. And look, they're scared enough that they're not going to run around kicking tires at people's houses and going to open houses for fun and things like that.
Yeah.
The guys who are in the market are darn serious. They've got money. They've got credit. Yeah. They want to buy. They're moving on with their lives. I mean, if you need to move or you need to buy something because, you got to get in for the summer when your kids are out of school and you got to do all that stuff, that's next month.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You're right.
You still got to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I have a client right now that I'm doing virtual showings for because they're, it's actually MacDill, right? So military is not stopping and they have to be here. And so they have to buy a house. And so she can't travel here. They're moving from out of state, but I'm doing virtual showings. I'm just walking them through the process and we're just doing it differently.
And talking about the supply and demand, like right now we are where we are, right? And you guys are showing that there's a low supply, which means there's a high demand. Yeah. Just imagine when all of a sudden the world opens back up, because it's going to. Just wait till it opens back up. All those guys up north who are hating life right now, who are locked down, where do you think they're coming?
Exactly. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it changes. I mean, Florida was already averaging 1,000 people a day that moved to our state per day. And I'm curious, when things go back to normal, is that number going to go to 1,500, 2,000? How many people are going to escape the north and come here even more now because of this?
Well, especially since it's snowing in Ohio today. Our family literally sent us pictures that it's snowing.
It's snowing up there.
Oh, God. Are they not even allowed to play in the snow?
Yesterday it was 70. Today it's snowing. That's how bipolar it is up there.
Yeah.
So think about this too, and this is a side note that somebody brought this up this morning in a conference call. what they're talking about is we're going to have another baby boom over
Yeah.
this as well.
Yeah.
And so we're talking, what, a year away from now?
Yeah.
People are going to need new houses.
Need bigger homes.
They have a bigger family.
Yeah, for sure.
We're positioned very, very well for people right now. The point to this is get the heck off the fence. If you want a deal, you better buy now before your supply and demand really flips in a couple months.
Exactly.
Well, and I think that that's the other thing that like people have to understand. Like, I understand that there's a little bit of like hesitation just because it's this uncertainty. But what we're seeing in these numbers, what you're seeing, what we're seeing is all very positive, solid numbers, right? It's not like, I think everybody has a little bit of PTSD from like the 08 and it's not the same scenario, right? We're not in the same market. I saw a stat yesterday, over 53% of homeowners right now have over 50% equity in their home.
Yep.
People aren't walking away.
It is the opposite of what happens.
So I think that, one of the things that the way I correlated is, okay, so regardless of what's going on, you still want to make that move, right? Like you either want to move, you want to sell. If you're going to sell, you don't have to sell for less than what you want. But if you don't put it on the market, you have no idea what's going to happen. So why not put it on the market and see? But then also for buyers, it's kind of like a sale going on, right? It's different. This is a different environment. It's like, so let's say like you have this great thing going on at like Nordstrom and you're saying, no, I don't want to touch it. I want to wait till like it's absolutely the busiest time of year and everything's going to go up in price because we don't know, like you said, but when the floodgates open back up, what will that be? Will we be in the multiple offers on every single home again? You don't know.
I think so. I mean, you don't have the supply right now to meet the demand.
Right.
What happens
Exactly.
when all of a sudden everybody comes out of the circus tent?
Exactly.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I guess the way I look at it is it's still kind of the perfect storm.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, what products do you still have available that are getting done? And now what are we looking at time frames? Are we still able to close loans in 2 to 3 weeks, 30 days, 45 days? Where are we at now?
All right, so products that are available, the biggest one right now and the strongest one is conventional. You need a minimum 620 credit score. It's always been that way. Nothing's changed with any of our banks. I'm sure some banks have tightened on it. That's minimum 3% down, 620 credit score, still in those. I could still close those in 15 days. Now, I put a little asterisk next to it because the banks who are the busiest right now are the banks with the lowest rates, because of everybody jumping into the refi market, which leads to the answer of your other question about how long it takes to close. Because of the, I hate to say it, fake news about 0% interest rates, which is, it's been great for us because everybody thinks you can get 0, so they call us. The appraisers are busy, the underwriters are busy, the banks are busy, so they're slowing down things by raising rates. The banks who are tighter on the interest rates and don't have the lowest rates, they can still close loans in under 15 days. So you can still get business done quickly, but I equate it to the old Disney Fast Pass thing. Fast passes aren't free, right? Or the Universal ones, they're not free.
Right.
First Gardens, you want to ride in front of the lines, you got to pay $100, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to close in 15 days, you're going to pay a slightly higher interest rate, or you're going to pay a point or two or something like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
If you want the lowest rates, they're out there. We've got lenders who are killing it. I mean, we just locked a guy yesterday at 2.99%, no points on a 15-year, 3.25 on a 30-year fixed. Rates are great. If you got 30 days to close it, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Product-wise, you got conventional. That's strong. FHA for us is still strong. A lot of people are tightening up on that. That's what we talked about earlier. We're still going down to no minimum credit score. 500 credit score FHA for us and no minimum VA. VA is super strong right now too, guys. It's still doing 100% financing. You can still do VA jumbos, which a lot of people don't realize. VA and conventional, that's where it's at. What's gone for real right now is the non-QM lending, the bank statement programs, the one day out of bankruptcy, foreclosure, and short sale, the stated income programs.
Okay.
For the most part, commercial is, some banks are still doing commercial, but we've shut down our commercial lines for now.
Yeah.
So the good news, FHA and conventional, that's really what you want.
Yeah. All right. Good to know. And VA, as far as like a VA or a USDA type of loan, what are we looking at time frame on those now?
30 days.
Still 30.
We're not really pushing. I am recommending people to do 45 just because of how busy the appraisers are. But the underwriters, typical underwrite is 24 to 48 hours. Now you're looking at 36 to 72 hours. You're not really far off. Maybe a really busy lender might be at 5 or 6 days.
Okay.
The appraisal on VA, they are giving the VA appraisers, I think, 15 days instead of 10 now. My advice, and I've always told this, is you always order your appraisal on the day of submission. You never wait if you can. So if you order it on the day of submission and we get it on the 15th day, that still gives us 15 days and a 30-day contract to close.
Okay.
So I think you're safe. If you have the option, I would tell people to write a 45-day contract. Like you can still close in 30 if you need to.
Okay, awesome.
And then one other thing I do want to bring up just quickly is, again, with all the misinformation that's out there, we've had some people ask about, this mortgage forbearance and things along those lines. First of all, I think we want to explain to people that you can't just skip a payment, right? You can't it's not like just an automatic thing. So if there are people who are wanting to go down that route, what do you recommend? What is the right process?
Very important. Great question, Jen. No, you cannot just stop paying your mortgage. I don't care what you've read on the news, what you've seen in the newspaper. You cannot quit. You have to call your lender. You have to get it in writing. Most residential lenders right now are only offering forbearances. They're not doing any type of, hey, you can skip a few payments. You have to apply for a forbearance. You have to fill out a financial form. You have to write a letter. You have to talk about your hardship. You may be required to show that you've lost your job or lost wages or something like that. So this isn't just for anybody. If you're not in trouble, don't try to do this.
Right.
But if you are, you can apply for the forbearance. Now, there's two sides to this forbearance. One, I'm going to talk about the scariest one first, and I've had multiple of my clients say this is happening, and my wife and I actually made a phone call, and I'm going to side note this real quick. We're not in trouble, but we're taking action just in case.
Right.
Okay, I'm not requesting a forbearance per se, but I'm just calling my bank, finding out what the rules are, and I would encourage everyone to do that. Find out what the rules are just in case things get bad for you or your job. Scenario number one, you get a forbearance. What they're telling most people is that they're going to give you 3 months of no payments. But they're putting in writing, I can send this to you, that it says at the end of the 3 months, you will be responsible for all payments.
So a jumbo payment, basically.
Yeah.
You're going to owe a jumbo payment in 3 months.
Yeah. So if your payment is $2,000 a month, in 3 months and 90 days, they're going to want $6,000 from you.
Right.
And of course, the response that all my buddies are saying is like, if I don't have the money now, how am I going to have it in 90 days?
Right.
Yeah.
Chances are, again, this is just my opinion, okay? Banks will probably change that rule if this continues much longer. The government will probably step in with all these funds that they're given and say, hey, no, you can't ask for all the money at the end of 3 months. People are going to complain. It's going to go up the chain. We're not there yet, though.
Yeah.
And the banks know we're not there yet. A lot of people are still employed. A lot of people can still work.
Yeah.
And then the government's sending funds, and we're doing things that are helping small businesses pay people's payrolls. That money's going to start hitting the banks within the next 10 days.
Right.
So, it's going to be a situation. You better really need it in order to do that. And you better need it to the point where you're willing to let your credit get screwed up. And talking about that for a quick second, if you do get the forbearance, the big question, Jen, you asked earlier before the call was, what's going to happen to your credit if you get a forbearance? Well, I equate it to what happened with Hurricane Irma. We see credit reports still today that say affected by natural disaster. There are no mortgage rates on those credit reports. And even on the ones where we've seen the bank accidentally put the mortgage rates, as long as it says affected by natural disaster and you have documentation from your bank, that's huge. If you get a forbearance, you better make every payment until you get a letter saying that when you can stop making that payment. Do not take anything verbal, ever, in the mortgage industry. So anyway, long story short, when it all does come back around and we see these things on the credit report, even if a credit report shows a late payment, if it is documented, we can ignore that. Now, if there's a late payment on your credit, though, it still drops your credit score.
Right.
All right? Just like we don't count collections against people in some things, like medical collections, they don't count against you. I don't care if you have $1 million in medical collections on any loan product.
Yeah.
But guess what's going to happen? Your credit score is going to suck
Yeah.
if you have $1 million in
Right.
medical collections. So is it on your credit? Yes. Will it affect you? Probably. So, only do it if you really, really need it. Get it in writing. The other side of the forbearance coin is they may tack it on to the end of your mortgage. Now, Jason, I know you and we did the same thing with our commercial mortgages. You made a call just like I did.
Yep.
To your commercial bank. And if you have a commercial loan, they're doing it the better way. They're actually a lot easier, believe it or not,
They
to
are.
deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened with you? What they do?
So we called on Eightplex that we have some ownership in, and basically, and this was kind of before this week. We're like, hey, if all 8 renters don't pay, what are our options? And he's like, oh, it's super easy. Here's one page. I'm going to email it to you, sign it, and we're going to tack those 3 payments onto the back end of your loan. And so my next question was, okay, if I sign this, can I still pay them if everybody does pay rent? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. It's just a fallback if people aren't paying you your rent and you can't cover the mortgage payment. We're giving you up to 90 days to get it straightened out. So yeah, it is weird because I've heard from so many clients how much more difficult it is to do on your home loan versus on a commercial product. And to me, that seems like it shouldn't be that way. But obviously, yeah, it's not up to us.
Yeah, to get a commercial loan, you and I know because we both have them, it's harder to get a commercial loan
It
than
is.
it is a residential.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I'm blown away of how easy the banks. Now, I'll tell you why, though. It's because the commercial lenders, that's their money.
They're holding their paper.
Right? They're holding the paper.
Yeah.
They're not selling to Fannie Mae or servicing for somebody else. So they get to make a decision like this.
Right.
I did the same thing with Achieva. It was my buddy who works for the bank. He's a commercial banker. Yeah, fill out a form, send it in. Okay, Jim, what's going to happen? Yeah, you got 90 days. At the end of 90 days, you can pay us or don't pay us. We'll tack it on to the end. We'll re-amortize you. You know, it's all going to do the same.
Right.
Wow. So
Yeah.
if you're in commercial building, make that call right now because that will be an easy. Now, I'm the same as you, Jake. I can make the payment.
Yeah.
I'm going to make the payment.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
bad things happen, I'll stop. But
Exactly.
Residential is tougher, guys. So get on the phone with your people and make sure you get in and right.
And make sure you understand if it is on your residential, do you owe it all in 90 days or are they tacking it on to the backside of your loan? Because that's crucial for, people that don't have all that money in 90 days. So yeah, great advice. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I think we kind of went over just about everything. Just kind of want to end it though on a positive note, just because we don't want to go out but we just want to make sure that we're always giving everybody all of the information that they need, right? We're hearing a little bit of everything. But I think what we are overall seeing, sorry, we got a kid doing school. We're on a live Facebook call. Say hi.
Get back in school, kids.
Get back to work, Connor. Like not right now, I know. Okay. For overall, what we're seeing, like I said, with all the data and all the facts that we saw today and the things we're talking about, we're really seeing a lot of positive things happening in our market. So, we're here as a resource for you all. We know that this is, most of you, your home is the biggest investment that you've made. So if you have any questions or concerns, or we're all here as a resource to answer any questions that you may have, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. If you guys need to apply, you can go directly to my website. It's 813mortgage.com. That's the Tampa area code, 813mortgage.com. We'll take care of you and get it right over to Jen and Jason if you guys need a purchase. If you're having problems with your residential property, you just want some advice, I'll give out my cell phone number. Anybody's welcome to text me. I can explain to them, what a mortgage company's telling you, or if you're looking into refining or something like that.
Yeah.
It's 813-765-1239. That's 765-1239. And they can always just dial the 813-mortgage as well. As long as they drop that last letter, they can get through to the office anytime if you guys need help.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we also have our website, which we have a tool on there where it gives you like an instant home valuation, which I know there's a lot of generic things out there. Ours, we spent a lot of time developing something that was much more accurate. It's interactive where we can work on it with the client. And so if you have any questions or you're concerned with that, you can go to our website too. It is My Tampa Lifestyle, it's TampaLifestyleHomeTeam.com. So yeah, I think that's about it, right? So,
Yeah.
Hey, positive news. Let's do this again in a week because now, from last week to this week, this is good stuff.
It is.
Stuff.
And it is changing. I feel like we're seeing changes on the mortgage side and on the banking side almost daily at this point. So I think it's crucial to stay on top of it, and we appreciate your knowledge and you keeping us informed.
Cool.
Absolutely, guys.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks. See you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Cool.